The issue of spectator behaviour has once again found itself in the spotlight, with Sydney Swan Adam Goodes again the subject of racial vilification from an opposition supporter last Friday. The spectator was quickly escorted from the venue and has had their AFL membership cancelled, but the incident has raised issue about how easy it is for a spectator to get ahead of themselves. Sam Chadwick, legal counsel at Football Federation Australia and board member of anti-discrimination charity organisation All Together Now, believes that people sometimes can get caught up in the moment.
One of the reasons that a lot of racist behaviour occurs or continues is because those who portray racist views, if there's silence, they often have a feeling that people agree with what they've said. If nobody stands up and speaks about it or speaks against it, and so that's the challenge when there's that liberal that sort of liberal feeling in a crowd, when there's you got 50% on your side and 50% against you, and you've got lots of allies there, that people get carried away, and there's often alcohol and excitement and other things at play, that people do think that it's okay to do it.
Former Sydney Swan and head coach of the Sydney Swans Academy, Michael O'Loughlin, believes that when it comes to spectator sledging, there is a certain line that is crossed that turns it into bullying.
I think I can put up with a lot of being called a bit of a dickhead or whatever else it might be, but I think when you attack somebody's race, religion, I think that's a real... I think that's where we need to stand up and say that's not tolerated. I don't think we can accept that anywhere in society. And the football field is or was my workplace. So I don't go into their work and abuse them and call them names. So it really is something that people forget.
Scott Tringoning, club captain of the UTS Bats, recalls an incident where a spectator racially vilified one of his teammates. He took matters into his own hands, which unfortunately is harder for a professional sportsman to do.
In the past I have experienced it, and same thing, I went over and told him that he's going to be found out, and it's probably, I think the people on the other side of the fence think they can get away with a little bit more because they're removed from the game. They don't think these rules and guidelines I have to abide by, but they do. If they're at the footy ground, it's still discrimination, racism, whatever it is. It doesn't matter what side of the fence you're on, you've got to live by the rules.
Despite this, O'Loughlin, a close friend of Goodes, believes it is encouraging to see people stand up against this form of bullying like they did last Friday.
Those things, and people really do show courage in places like the football and say, hey mate, that's not on. Can you just don't end it? Because there are a large number of the spectators are kids and women. So it's really important, and if we didn't have people like that standing up, even though the name calling wasn't directed at them, to say, mate, that's not on, people soon get really embarrassed and duck down. It's a strange one, because as I said, I don't think we'll ever get to the point where it's eradicated throughout certainly Australia and I guess over the world, but it's stuff that if that's what they think, they can think that to themselves.
While bullying in a racial capacity will not disappear completely, many believe incidents such as the one last Friday will act as a brilliant form of first-hand education for supporters. With more and more people taking a stand, perhaps racial bullying will become less of a news story in the future. Thomas Grant, The Bulletin.